Welcome to Junie's Book Nook. Happy Easter, Gus by Jacklyn Williams, illustrated by Doug Cushman. Gus and Bean raced through the park on their bikes. The town was having its annual Easter egg hunt. They did not want to be late. This year, the prize for finding the most eggs was a gigantic chocolate rabbit. Gus was sure he was going to win. He had practiced hiding eggs and finding them all year long. "Knock, knock," said Bean. "Who's there?" asked Gus. "Lettuce," answered Bean. "Let us who?" asked Gus. "Let us hurry or we'll miss the fun," said Bean. "Good one," laughed Gus. Mr. Chase, the school principal, had been busy hiding eggs in the park all morning. At noon, a crowd of happy, noisy children gathered around him. Billy was there, impatiently waiting for things to get started. "Knock, knock," said Bean. "Who's there?" asked Gus. "Harry," answered Bean. "Harry who?" asked Gus. "I hope we hurry up and start hunting for eggs," said Bean. Before Gus could laugh, Mr. Chase made an announcement.
"First, we're going to play a game. Then, we're going to look for eggs," he said. "Everyone choose a partner and line up for the egg toss," shouted Mr. Chase.
Bean walked over and stood next to Gus. Mr. Chase gave each pair of children an egg. "Knock, knock," said Bean.
"Who's there?"
asked Gus. "Stan," answered Bean.
"Stan who?"
asked Gus. "Stan over there. I'll toss you the egg," said Bean. Bean tossed Gus the egg. Gus caught it and tossed it back. "Knock, knock," said Bean.
"Who's there?"
asked Gus. "Quack," answered Bean.
"Quack who?"
asked Gus. "If we quack the egg, we'll lose," said Bean. The children tossed their eggs back and forth. One by one, the teams dropped their eggs. Then they dropped out of the game. Finally, there were only 2 teams left. Bean tossed the egg to Gus. "Hey, Gus," said Billy, "don't forget to catch it." Gus caught the egg and tossed it back to Bean.
"Very funny, Billy,"
said Gus.
"So funny I forgot to laugh."
"No fair, Billy," said Bean. "You're making us nervous." Flap! The egg slipped through Gus's fingers and landed on his shoe.
"You won't forget to laugh now,"
chuckled Billy,
"because it looks like the yolk's on you." "It looks like the winners of the egg toss are Billy and his partner,"
said Mr. Chase.
"And now it's time for the egg-citing hunt. Before we begin, I want to explain the rules. You have exactly 15 minutes to collect eggs."
He held up a beautiful blue basket. On a bed of bright green plastic grass lay a gigantic chocolate rabbit wrapped in shiny gold paper.
"Whoever finds the most eggs wins this extremely wonderful prize. So grab your baskets, get ready, get set, go!"
Mr. Chase shouted. The children began to scatter. Billy shoved Gus to one side.
Out of my way, he said. Winner coming through.
Gus spied an egg hiding in a big bush and rushed toward it. As Gus reached in the bush to grab the egg, Billy jumped out from behind it.
Roar!
He yelled. Yikes! Shrieked Gus. He stumbled headfirst into the bush. Sharp finger-like branches reached out and grabbed Gus and his basket. First, they poked Gus in the arm.
Hey!
Then they poked a hole in the bottom of his basket. Gus struggled free. Billy howled with laughter. Gus made a face at Billy and headed off and searched for more eggs. Billy followed close behind. First, Gus found a striped egg. He put it in his basket. It slipped out and rolled away. Billy grabbed it. Next, Gus found a spotted egg. He put it in his basket. It slid out. Billy snatched it up. On and on went Gus, picking up eggs and putting them in his basket. On and on went the eggs, slipping and sliding back out. On and on went Billy, scooping them up and filling his own basket. Gus got so excited looking for eggs, he did not notice he was losing them as fast as he was finding them.
5 more minutes,
announced Mr. Chase. The children scampered around to be sure all the eggs had been found.
Time's up,
Mr. Chase shouted. The children headed back. On his way, Billy spied one last egg. It was the biggest one yet. With this one, I'll win the prize for sure, he thought. Billy tucked the egg under his arm and hurried on. Suddenly, he let out a loud holler.
Yikes!
He screamed.
It's after me!
Billy dropped his basket and ran. Hissing and honking, the mother goose ran after him.
Everyone count their eggs,
said Mr. Chase.
Let's find out who the winner is.
Gus looked at his empty basket.
What's going on here? He grumbled. It looks as though my eggs are still hiding.
Look what I just found, said Bean.
My eggs! Shouted Gus.
Bean handed Gus Billy's basket. Gus counted his eggs.
I have 10, he said. Does anyone have more than 10 eggs? Asked Mr. Chase.
No one did.
Then the winner is Gus with 10 eggs, Mr. Chase said.
Everyone cheered. Mr. Chase handed Gus the prize.
Thank you,
said Gus. Just then, Billy ran past the crowd. The goose followed close behind. Everyone laughed and laughed. Knock, knock, said Bean.
Who's there?
Asked Gus. Orange, answered Bean.
Orange who?
Asked Gus. Aren't you going to share your prize with your best friend? Said Bean. The end. Thank you for watching.